प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है पी सच नानक होसी पी सच वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह.
Hello, my name is Harbir Kaur.
My name is Jagjit Kaur.
And we are two 22-year-old Kaurs from Calgary. Today we're going to be talking about my favorite topic, obviously, which is Kes. So last time, I don't know when, but Panji did a live with my sister Jagbir Kaur, who is my sister, very separate person, no matter what she tells you. She did a live with her, and they just talked about kind of their experiences with having Kes, like how they cope and whatnot. So we're just going to expand on that a little more. Obviously, like when we're talking about Kes, we all start by knowing how hard it is to keep Kes.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it today. I was like, which adjective should I use to describe this, right? I'm like, it can be stress inducing, it can be like it can sometimes feel scary, it can make you feel insecure, awkward. I was like thinking about these situations, and then in the end I was like, you know what, it literally is just hard.
Yeah, all of the above.
And then but it's crazy because at the same time, like sometimes there's like, especially for me, like there's positive moments or positive like stories that literally just inspire you to keep your Kes, right? And today I wanted that to be like what we talk about, positive, like the positive twist, and like what inspires us to keep our Kes. And like finally, with my just beyond the care power, like we're gonna share my favorite story.
My favorite story. But before we start, we'll share like a small story that Benji was telling me earlier. That was really nice.
It's crazy because like Mara just like re-inspires you again and again, right? And gives you like these reminders. And like the other day I was at Babaji's house, and like Baba Lakwinder Singh Ji's, right? And like literally like there's so much kirpa. Like they've met like every single like amazing Gursikh Guru, right? And like they have these like inspiring things to tell about these Gurmukhs, right? And the other day they're literally talking about, I'm pretty sure they're like talking about like when this Gursikh had darshan of Sri Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji, and I literally like casually, right? And they're literally like,
no biggie.
Their name was Bhai Dolat Singh Ji, and they literally were saying, they looked at them and they're like, "Ona da dada inna sona si," and it was crazy because they were just so in awe, right? They were like, they looked at this Gursikh and they're like, they say to them, they're like, "Thoda dora kinna sona sada short aaya hai," right? And like it's so funny because the Gursikh just laughs, and the Gursikh's just like, you know, like thank you, like, and they're like, "Asi Guru Gobind Singh Ji to mang ke liya." And I literally was like, oh, like that much love. So that much love for Sikhi, for Maharaj's Swaroop, for Kes, like it was just so beautiful. I was like, wow. To them, beauty is their Kes, their dada, right? Like I was like, wow. Oh, man.
Like your Sikhi grows when your Kes grows. That's like, that was what they wanted from Maharaj, which is so beautiful. So we're gonna start our favorite story talking about a Penji that anonymous Penji.
So Penji, Jagbir Penji, who you've hopefully met. So like she works at Rogers, right? So first of all, already so inspiring, like being out there, like literally doing kirat in Maharaj's Swaroop. So having your dastar, keeping your Kes, and like she also has facial Kes, right? And like she was working, and she works at Rogers, so it's like a lot of customer service. So you're always talking to people, you're always helping people, and somebody walks in, and so this is like an average like
clean shaven 25-year-old Punjabi dude, like we don't know him,
like complete stranger, just like, but like obviously just like Punjabi, right? So then like they walk in and Benji helps them out, gets them a phone, whatever it might be, right?
Whatever you do in Rogers, nobody knows. Maybe breaking down the communication towers or something. But she was helping him actually. So
she was helping them, and afterwards, like, so when she finishes helping them, he literally just looks at her. And he says,
they were having like a conversation.
Yeah,
and then
like
at the end.
Yeah, and then he like looks at her and he says, "I hope one day I can be worthy of marrying someone like you."
And he did this.
Oh yeah, and then he went like this.
Showing,
yeah, he literally went like this as he was like kind of like doing a shout out to like her Kes, right? And like that was such a beautiful moment, like such a like powerful moment, because like we always dream about, like, you know, you think about creating such a jivan that like people just by looking at you, by like, you know, like having enough kamai, like naam simran, whatever it might be, your rani bani, the way that you are, anything, like, you know, that your character and stuff, like having such a great gursiki jivan that like people are inspired by you. But Benji didn't have to do anything just by being in Maharaj's like Ditti Hoy Swaroop. Like I was just like, wow, like it was such a beautiful moment, such a powerful moment, and like it really just goes to show, like literally just by keeping kiss, just by being in, you know, like you always talk about the power of Bana, right? Bani and Bana, right? And in this world, like as we're doing this stuff, like, you know, you're the star, you're like kiss is your Swaroop, right? Which is like so beautiful that you're like, you always carry with you and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, I thought that was amazing because just by being, she inspired this other person to want to be better, to become closer to, like, come closer to Sikhi, to become better and stuff, right?
Yeah. And like on top of that, like there's so many facets to the story too, like the whole marrying, like him being like, oh, I hope I'm worthy of marrying someone like you too, like, you know, for Bibi with Kes, that's a huge struggle, is like, you know, being worried about if you're gonna find someone to marry, if like somebody's gonna accept you. And the fact that this random stranger who isn't even Amritari, so isn't even like, you know, on that path currently, like of keeping their own case, was like, I hope I can become worthy of marrying. So it's not like he's settling, he's like, no, I want to reach your level, which I think is so crazy, because that just goes to show like Maharaj is showing, like, you know, Maharaj is literally shining through Benji, and that's why someone else is like, I need to be worthy of marrying you. So that just obviously reaffirms for you, like, yo, I'm not someone that you're gonna settle for, I'm someone that you're gonna become worthy of because of my kiss, right?
And it's crazy, like, and even another time, like one of my pana, she somebody literally was just like, I want to marry you, right? And like she's like, you don't even know me, like, you know, you've never talked to me and stuff, right? But they were like, she had facial kiss, and they're like, it's because like when I look at you, I'm just reminded of my guru. Like, what a beautiful thing, right? To like, and it's crazy because it's like, you know, like all this stuff about kiss, but there's just so many like beautiful moments, and there's so much beauty in it, right? Oh man.
Yeah. And like, it's not like, obviously when you inspire strangers, it's huge, like you just feel so shocked. But there's also other examples where you even inspire like people within your own sangat.
Yeah, like that was a stranger, right? No idea who they were. But like, yeah, even within our own sangat, right? Like once after kids class, we were sitting in Langar Hall, and like another, like this little girl, she's like 14 years old, literally just turns around to Benji and is like, you are my inspiration, right? And it's crazy because she, at that age, you're going through so much, right? So many struggles with self, with like the way you look, the way you feel about yourself, the way you're told to feel about yourself, whatever, right? Like, especially during this time, it's such a, like, it's such a battle with the mind, right? And like, it's crazy because she was going through a hard time, and she literally just looks at Benji, and she was talking about Benji's case, and that's when, around the time when your own struggles with that begin, right? But it, again, like, just by being there, and just by being, like, she was able to inspire that, like, little Benji, right? And then,
like, that's just the biggest thing, is being someone who pushes someone else towards Sikhi just by existing is like literally the biggest gift that Maharaj can give you, and like the biggest seva that you can have in life, you know? And like, even Benji has experienced that herself.
Oh yeah,
when she was at Anandpur side.
Yeah, so I was matha taking, and like I walk out and I come sit outside, like in the prakarma, like the outside prakarma, and like somebody, like this Mataji or this BBG, they like matha take and they come out, and this BBG like pretty much had like a beard, and I like looked at her, and I was a kid, like this, like 5 years ago, I was just a kid, and I just look at her, and I literally felt the need to matha take to her. And like, I don't know what it was, like whether I just looked at her and was like, you are in Maharaj's Swaroop, you radiate, you are something else, right? Like, I don't know what it was, but I literally was like, I want to matha take to you, I need to matha take to you.
Yeah.
And like, and that was like, you know, like so many situations where it's like so inspiring, and like for me, like these stories, they just stick with me, because when you're like, oh, like, why do I keep my gifts, right? Like, you remember all these beautiful, amazing moments that like inspired you and were so positive, that it helps you keep your own gifts, right? And then
and create like a world where all the Kaurs can feel like that too, like the, like if we keep sharing these stories and we keep being these stories, like eventually, hopefully we'll live in a world where like Sikhi is normal and like all the stories you have are just going to be positive ones. So I feel like that's why it's so important to like not just like be, but also like fully be there, fully exist and share, because that's how we're going to keep growing together, right?
I love that. And even like after talking to like a few pena, like I was thinking about like a few tips and tricks that like are super important when keeping your kids, right? That I hope can help somebody else, right? And we can go through those so that you can hopefully learn from that, right? And like so number one is knowing why you do it. So that's the foundation of everything, right? So knowing why you do it, and it's different for everyone, right? So whether it's like because of Sakya, because like you know the value of your kids, it's literally just different
like,
for everyone.
Like last time Jibir Benji was saying that she's doing it for the greater purpose, like almost for the pant. Like she knows that my kiss has a symbolic meaning that's bigger than anything I can ever conceive. Like some Benjis say that when they're doing Simran, they literally feel like the elevated spiritualness. Clearly I don't do Simran, but they feel the difference in their roams, right? Like they feel that this means something, you know?
Like, like they live that, they feel that, right? And it's like we talked about that last time too, like it's gonna be for yourself, like, and that's the most important thing with anything, right? Knowing the why, that's what keeps you grounded, and that's what you always come back to. So that's really important to find and know. And then number 2
is having confidence and being open.
Okay, so
I didn't read that off anything.
So like we learned this from Benji, right? Last time. Benji has so much confidence, and like obviously that's a journey getting to that level, right, of confidence. But like we've learned a lot from it, right? Like fake it till you make it. But even another Ben shared such a great story where she was saying that, so she went into work and like they had like a team huddle where you like introduce yourself, you just get to know each other, right? And in this team huddle, like she just casually just shared that, oh, like, hi, this is my name, by the way, like I have some hair on my face because like it's part of my religion, this is this, blah blah blah. And literally just like so open about it, so comfortable in that space, right? Which I was like, this is genius.
That's, like, awesome.
This is great. Like to like that it's no longer like the elephant in the room or this awkward thing that you like don't know how to address, or you're like pretending doesn't exist, or like whatever, right? Like, and it was perfect because after that, like, you know, like they understand you and you can just like go on, and it's like oh man, I just thought it was great.
Yeah, for sure. You're like setting yourself up for success in that way by like just putting everything out there to begin with. Like for me, you know, when they go around and they're like, say your name, say something interesting about you, I have no personality or hobbies, so obviously I can just fall on Sikhi and be like, oh, I'm a Sikh, as you can see I have a turban, and then you can talk about, like, maybe in that moment you can talk about case or your beliefs. And like this world today is just becoming more and more diverse, more and more inclusive, like with time. So it's like when you put your foot forward, I'm like so positive that majority of people will accept you, will, you know,
we were talking about people are pretty open these days, right?
Well, in most societies and stuff. And our third tip is positive sangat.
Okay, yeah, it's really important to surround yourself with positive sangat, and we're super lucky. Like literally, I am my sangat, like the product of the people around me, of like what I've been taught, right? So it's like we're really lucky to have Pena around us that keep their case and stuff, so that inspires us, right? And then we can talk to them and all of that. But sometimes people don't have that, so like your sangat can be anything you surround yourself with, right? Well, maybe that could be like sakya, that could be other stuff that you listen to online. Your sangat is literally anything. Even Ben, another great story. So like Benji,
the cousin one?
Yeah. So Benji was like, this other little Benji started getting kiss on their face, and like she has so much love for Sikhi, right? She was like, of course I want to keep my kiss, right? And then like, but then her parents were forced, like pressuring a lot, and like telling her to remove her kiss. And then it's crazy because she has this cousin that is like not Amritari, doesn't keep her case, nothing, right? And like, but then when like she like called and they were talking to her, she was like, oh no, I know her Sikhi, she wouldn't waver, right? And like I remember her telling me about this and how much comfort she felt in somebody else believing in her like that, and like and having that love for her kids, like knowing her love for her kids, right? And like, and that's positive sangat, right? It's literally just a supportive environment, and it was like, I love that, like that, and that's really important, right? And then number four,
we talked like about self-love. And I know like self-love is the big hype word these days, you know, but Benji talked a little bit about it last time, how like self-love and tyag, they go hand in hand, right? Like these days people will like sell self-love to you, like go, you know, go do your nails, go like do this, go like spa day, whatever, and that's great too. But in reality, for us as Sikhs, our version of self-love is realizing that our self isn't even this body, our self isn't even this case. Like my love, the love that I have within me, actually has very little, if nothing, to do with my body, because I know that my case is gonna burn. I know that like in the end of the day, I'm gonna leave this body behind, right? So true self-love is loving who you truly are. And when I look in the mirror and I look at my case, I'm reminded of that every day, because like if I don't like my case, I'm also reminded that why do I keep them? I keep them because Maharaj. Why? Because this is not actually me, because my case are like whatever I feel about them isn't actually me, and that kind of increases like your self-love and your detachment.
And it's cool, it takes you like beyond this world, that like, you know, this is what I love for now and the world after, right?
So it teaches you real self-love. Remind yourself of what self-love truly is and who you truly are when you look in the mirror.
I love that. And then the last thing that I just came across and thought about today was, how do you put it into words?
Like everything that you need is already within you. You just have to access it.
Yeah, so like everything else that we've talked about is great, like, you know, these positive stories, these positive moments, these little tips and tricks, but at the end of the day, we're alone in this world, right? Like, you know, kalle aaye, kalle jaunge, right? And like so I wanted to share like a little experience that I went through very recently, right? So like I've been spending a lot of time at Babaji's house, Baba Khandir Singh Ji's house, right? And like I was feeling really low in my Jeevan. Like I was not doing enough. I was not even a Gursikh, right? Like I'm like, I suck, right? And like I got super excited because I'm like, I can do Sangat of somebody really great. Closest person to Guru Sahib I know, right? And I'm like, this will automatically make me better. This will automatically just help me, right? So then like spending so much time at Babaji's house, literally 6 hours, 7 hours, every single day, right? And it's crazy, of course. It was like so inspiring. It was such a great experience. It was literally like Paris parse Paris hoy, right? I was like, you know what? Literally you touch the philosopher's stone, you become the philosopher's stone, right? But then it was so funny, the Pangti Babaji literally read, it was like become Maharaj Chalana, right? Like Maharaj literally said the path is hard. It's not that easy, right? Like you can't, like if it was that easy, you'd matha take and that'd be it. Like we'd be one with Maharaj, right?
If only.
Yeah, but like Maharaj literally tells us it's hard. It's a hard path, right? Like it is gonna be hard. And I realized like even if I was in so much chardi kala, I was remembering Maharaj while I was with them. At the end of the day, I would come home and Maya would hit. Your lobe, your mo, your ahankar, like literally like you would feel that, right? And when you're at home by yourself, that's a battle you have to fight yourself, right? And like, yeah, sometimes you might have all these positive experiences, but one day somebody's gonna say something negative to you, right? But it's gonna be up to you to like deal with that yourself, right? So at the end of the day, like everything is inside you. It's literally just a mind game, right? And it's like it's time to become like strong within yourself, whether it's your Gursikh Jeevan, whether it's like your Naam Kamai, whether it is your love for yourself and your Guru, right? And I'm like, that is so important, because
like that's the foundation for everything. You have it in you to be great. You just have to reach in and access the Maharaj in you.
I love that.
Yes.
Do you want to add anything else, Benji?
I'm good.
We will be doing a live Q&A, not a live Q&A, but if you have any questions, send them to either me or Benji, and we will actually be, all of our amazing, beautiful Penna will be answering any questions that you might have about Kes and Gursikh.
Yeah,
right,
sure.
Benji?
All right,
Benji.
Looks like it.
Maharaj Kirpa Karan. I hope you were able to take something away from this. Please forgive us if we said anything wrong, if we said anything to hurt you, if we said it made any mistakes.
If we were dumb, please forgive us. Okay, thank you so much for listening and being here with us and
Being our son.
being our Sangha. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, we're gonna go now.
Why
Why could you cut us? Why could you keep it?